Are we back? We're back. All right, cool. We are actually live again. Yes. Just setting up all the screens for everybody. 1 second. Okay. Vibe coding. Hold on, because I got a really super cringe thumbnail that I need to upload first for this. The greatest. There we go. Superb. Kick is back up, isn't it? Yeah, Kick's up, bro. Gotta refresh. Let me put in all this stuff in the chat. If you missed it, we've already been streaming for like 3 hours, I think. I'm not sure, but we cut the stream off on YouTube and we went to Kick. By the way, this is our slop thumbnail. Witness this. Let me pull it up here actually directly. Where is it? I told Grok to edit myself, vibe coding. This is our YouTube thumbnail. Superb. I said, make a YouTube vibe coding slop thumbnail. This is his first try. Excellent. So if you look on YouTube right now, this is what you see, dude. Everybody's going to look at this and go, what the hell? What is this slop? This hell yeah. Dialed in on crack, dude. We're on that Fent code. Okay. Funny enough. Let me run this so I could just show everybody the shirts and then we're getting started streaming. NPM start. Ah, fuck. Can't type. Okay, there we go.
A damp 911 donated $5. I'm not much on watching the coding. I'll ban any bots and listen to the talk, but I'm going to focus on listing to eBay. Both eBay accounts going strong.
Get after it. Yeah, this is a chill coding session, boys. So you may not like what you see. That's all right. Okay, just make sure I'm connected to all the platforms. Cool. We're currently making an app, bro. We are making one. I have it here. You're seeing part of it. So I'm connected. This is my unified chat that you're seeing. And this one on the right, this little screen, I don't feel like making it bigger because it's off on my second monitor. That's my unified, like, super chat donations board. Anytime somebody subs, whatever, I get the alert, all that stuff. It's actually nice. Actually, you know what? I'll make it a little bigger just for you guys so you can see kind of like the full product as it's being built out. Why not? Okay, so here's what it looks like, right? You could see that. That's good enough, I think, for your screens. There you go. So I've unified it. I'm solving my own issue as a streamer. And we could get into the chat later, but You're essentially watching me solve my own problem, and maybe we'll make money off of it. Maybe not. We need the Oblivion NPC music. Okay, there we go. We're about to witness an ape versus a machine. But before we do that, I got to plug the shirts. The shirts have come in for me. Very nice. Just vote harder. Of course, because what you're seeing happening on the news with the Uniparty. And here's the other one. If you guys haven't had a chance, please do go get your shirts. They've been selling like hotcakes. Peep that. Dude, absolute fire designs. Hey. So, shirts have been going crazy. I made one for a hat too. It's white. Well, I ordered the white one. It comes in multiple colors, but I'm going to be wearing the white one all the time. I got mugs too. They're a little delayed, but the mugs are coming in. I can't wait. So, shit's been going really well. Shirt designs are fire. Thank you so much to everybody that's ordered them. I'll get through some of the supers
At Death Ice Enough donated $5. Have you seen the new alphabet soup password put out by Canada? MMIWG2 Sligia Plus.
Yep, I saw that shit. That looked insane.
At Ryan the Eating Warrior donated $50. Well, Iran blew up my office last month. Looks like I won't be going back to Qatar anytime soon. Off to the Philippines to build my house with my wife and son. Sometimes life forces you into your next chapter, face rolling on the floor laughing.
Holy crap. Damn, Ryan. Okay, talk about direct effect of the war. That's crazy. Well, good luck in the Philippines. That's insane, dude. Hey, life is telling you to go in a certain direction. Ooh. Thanks, brother, for the 1,000 kicks. Appreciate you. Let me see what that says. Opinion on Trump fighting 4 years tooth and nail to get back to the presidency only to give Israel everything they ever wanted instead of Americans? Well. Hey, that's like a perfect question. That has the perfect answer. You were never going to get what you wanted. It was all a lie. It's all the same party. That's it. Vote harder, daddy. It might make a difference. No, seriously, Trump managed to, because he's really good with people. What essentially he managed to do was convince and ride the populist right wave. People were tired of Democrat policies and attacking men and anti-family, and the culture was rotten. Nobody cared about these 1% of people that were supposed to be exalted in society as the ultimate victims. And so that was the backlash. It wasn't necessary that Trump had these abilities. It was just that he was at the right time. Would have we had a real nationalist right leader that really wanted to bleed for America and put America first, they could have harnessed the same exact energy and made some use of it. Like Trump got the mandate. So what do I think about him screwing up the mandate he got and selling out to the business class? What did you expect? We all had hope that it wouldn't happen, but you knew better if you did. He is a billionaire New York Democrat. Since when does a billionaire care about the people? He's the TV guy. He's never had a successful business. All of them, he bankrupted a casino. Then he was taking hundreds of millions of dollars from big tech. He took 250 million, was it, from Miriam Adelson. He got bought out and then co-opted. Media started supporting him. CNN started supporting him. They stopped bashing him because the owners of the media bought Trump in. They bought into the presidency. So, okay. You didn't get what you voted for, but they did, which is essentially what our system is. The people who donate the most, thanks, brother. The people who pay for the campaigns, the system works perfectly for them. Every single wealthy individual that has Trump on the phone, that has donated to his campaign, has gotten exactly what they spent money on. They got their money's worth. You didn't. Your vote doesn't matter. The two-party system is false. These people are bought and paid for by the same group of individuals who have money and influence. What Trump showed, at least, is that the dominant culture underneath that's simmering in America is right-wing populism. It does exist, and it is predominant in the culture. The shit that the Democrats are spewing, this liberal ideology, the LGBTQ, the trans ideology, the anti-natalist policies, anti-family, anti-white male, anti-all this, that's a small percentage. Democrats can't even win by placating to those people. We saw what a mandate looks like. We saw what a sweep the Republicans had, what Trump had, for tapping into that very simple messaging of putting America first, jailing criminals, closing the borders, basic stuff, stopping the fraud, releasing the Epstein files, and all the other shit that he was promising, right? So that's where most Americans are. Never be fooled in thinking that you're in the minority. It's just the Democrats were censoring the shit out of absolutely everything. And engineering the conversation on social media platforms. That's all. That's all they were doing. So it seemed like we were going crazy. It seemed like we were on the way out, like we're looking in. Hey, is this really normal now? Is this where our society went? No, actually, it's not where our society went. It's just that's the only conversation that was allowed in platforms online. So, yeah. Okay, but back to the vibe coding. So pull that up. I run for president. I wouldn't even if I could, dude. Politicians are scum. Let me play that.
At Death Ice Enough donated $2. My favorite North Korean food is grass.
Well then. At least you're getting some polyphenols. Thanks, brother. Let me adjust the camera because I'm looking tiny over here. Where is this? There we go. Okay. So this is a coding stream, boys. What we're going to do here is I'm going to show you exactly how I'm vibe coding my application and the process that I'm using with Claude Code, where I'm making him be my senior software engineer. And he's going to be the intermediary that's checking the coding side of Claude Code, like actually going into the diff and checking the lines that were changed and making sure that we don't actually screw something up that we shouldn't have been touching. Now, this also coincides with the new Opus 4.7 just got released, so Claude got an upgrade. That's what we're coding on. And this stream is just going to be us chilling and coding and talking. So if you're here for commentary, you missed it, actually, you might want to go on Kick. And we turned off the YouTube one. So we will now resume. If you have any questions in the chat, if I catch it, please ask. Feel free. We're chilling. We're coding. This is a relaxing stream. Go about, do some stuff, whatever you're doing. We're going to shoot the shit. And you're using Brave. Are you balls deep in crypto as well? I am not. I am not, my friend. Let me get this chat out of the way over on this side. Okay, cool. So what you're seeing here on the left side is this is me and Claude normal chat. On the right side is the Claude desktop application, which everybody has access to. And the parameters are simple. I'm on Opus 4.7, extra high out of max. I don't think I need any max tokens unless I'm doing something heavy like architectural work, which we're not right now. We're going to be fixing one of these duplication bugs that we have. Essentially, when somebody subs on Kick, we're getting the same sub 3 times in a row. So we're going to be fixing that. And a bunch of other things. I'm going to run through some deep architectural updates on my app too. So you're going to watch how I'm speaking to my senior software engineer, relaying that information to Claude Code, exactly what I need to paste. Once Claude Code implements the changes, I send the changes over to my chat side, And then he actually tells me things to do in the terminal here, which is nice because before you didn't have this. This is a fresh update where you can work from the terminal directly inside of Claude Code. So pretty cool. And we will continue now. So where was I last? I don't even remember, but I'm just going to prompt him to continue. I'm done streaming. I'm now doing a chill live stream. So if a chill for coding only. So if I notice a bug, I'll drop the logs. Otherwise, let's continue with our session. And then, so we're just going to continue. You're watching me do this live so you could get an idea how all this shit works. So I'm telling him, let's continue with our session. What's first on the list? Coolio. He's doing a quick recap. So I want to show you guys kind of what I've done. I'm working inside of a project folder. That's what I have here. If you don't have a project folder, you should make a project. It allows you to store certain files, or any files with directions in there. So essentially, looks like this. Where is that? Projects. Here we go. Click on that. So what you're seeing is this. It has memory for this project, and then it has instructions. And he's helping me build Conduit and multi-platform live stream command center desktop that's running on Electron, Then I have right here, you see all these are the spec sheet. This is the code base snapshot. So all of the changes we've done in the code. This is the session context. So if I were to start a new conversation, essentially what will happen is he can pick up right where we left off with full context. When you start a new conversation, obviously he has to be brought up to speed on everything that's going on. Some decision logs here, and then a unified roadmap. Basically, everything we're building for the app, all unified. We had different phases. I started losing track of shit, so I just asked him, can you make one unified roadmap? So these are the files which he constantly accesses as we're discussing. These are the two conversations I have within this project. And then this is where we are right here, where we're discussing. So he's telling me what I need to do, but let me scroll up because I had this ready just so you guys understand what was kind of going on. Okay. So you have an example, right? So I said, where to start from? Let's see. Okay. Here's what I'm working on the phases. So I asked them, I want the product to just work at launch because we're doing so many changes of shit. And then here's the full roadmap, which is in my Conduit spec. The app I'm launching is going to be called Conduit. And this is the critical patch or path to launch. So I have to fix the parser bugs that I have. Kick GIFs aren't working properly. The Windows build, I have to test for Windows. Auth server VPS deployment. So I have to deploy a VPS. I have to purchase some domains. I have to get the Stripe live key. So when people purchase off of Stripe, everything works and functions. The app activates. Then you have code signing for Mac plus Windows. DMG/exe sign to notarize. So these are all the things that I have to do. Onboarding flow, soft launch on the school community, public launch with a YouTube announcement video. So we have that all enlisted. And then known technical debt that must be fixed pre-launch. This is all the shit that we've kind of noticed as we're coding. Then I have the pre-launch features that are not built or tested, like bots, cross-platform donation tracking, full testing checklist from my older spec. Post-launch, the stuff I have to do month 1, month 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? Loyalty point system, post-live stream analytics. Like this is all the stuff I'm building into my app. So month 3, Cash App, Venmo, crypto donation support, right? Month 4, widget plugin SDK, and month 5, AI clip detection. And where we are sitting currently in this. So we're doing what you see here. So here's the full picture of what I've been working on that you guys have been seeing. Phase 2 is something that we're in, probably doing the infrastructure to ship. I don't know how far into this we're going to get because I think once I get into the infrastructure stuff, when I have to deploy I'm going to have to be dealing with some keys and private information, so I won't do that on stream. We're going to work on some more basic stuff right now, and I'll let him know I'm streaming live and to do the work that's safe for live stream. Nothing that requires me to have data on here that somebody could wreck me, like keys, you know? Okay. So then I had him make me these session files, basically. So the session file is a full reconstruction of the project state from phase 1 to tonight's commits, which was, you know, a few nights ago. The unified roadmap that I read to you guys, that's in there. And then the conduit decision log, basically how we're working through our stuff. And he makes those, puts them in the project file. You download them like this and you just drop them in your project file. And that allows you to make sure his context is constantly aware. And you constantly update these once you go through so many of these iteration changes. And here's everything that he's separating out and making sure it's all looking good. What else? Other stuff that we're working on. I just told him the bugs during live stream right now. So this is where we're at. Okay. He wants us to launch the app, which is already launched. And he wants me to check this code. Okay, so we're already launched here. I only need to do this. So you're seeing this is the stuff you would normally paste in terminal. So here's how I have him set up so you understand. Bug list status, he's listing all the stuff that we have to do, updated based on the stream. We have the kick double detection that we saw on the stream earlier today. We have a subburst individual alerts using the wrong sound. The Rumble viewer counter is broken. The Twitch viewer counter is broken. And the unified cross-platform revenue counter is a new feature that we've requested. And this is the existing parser issues that we're also going to fist. We're fisting bugs. Okay, and we're going to fix the kick double connection bug right now. He's giving out the reasons why. And then he's giving me a pre-flight before I write the prompt. He says, quick check first. I want to see the actual code path involved. So he's asking me to run this in my terminal up here, which I have opened up. And I'll just command paste that. And then my entire terminal, it should fill up with somebody. Okay. Let me double check. Okay. For some reason, nothing's happening. Let me open up my separate terminal. I haven't used this terminal yet. Command V. There we go. So their terminal doesn't work for all these. That's fine. So here's my terminal. Same shit you see up here. We could delete this. Not needed. Okay. So you go in your terminal. I copy pasted literally exactly what he asked for. Make that bigger. Okay. Because he's looking at the lines of code. These lines right here are actual lines of code. He's checking where things are firing incorrectly and what he needs to tell Claude Code to fix exactly. So we're just going to command all of this, copy it, and we're going to go in here and paste this information, and we're going to see what he says. See, found it. So he found exactly what was wrong. He says, let me check one more thing before writing the prompt. So he's checking the code right now, currently. And before writing the prompt, he says, confirm the bug clearly. 2 calls connect kickfire within the same millisecond on startup. He confirmed this. So before, the way you used to do this, how I taught you guys in the earlier videos, where you would just say, hey, my stuff is firing twice. What do I do? He would then guess and be like, okay, well, you're going to have to tell Claude Code, do this, that, and the other. Try to find out that maybe this is the problem. He's basically debugging for me, but he's also my software engineer in terms of the architectural paths that we're taking. And when Claude Code writes that he's made a change and he's committed to it, he checks exactly the changes that were made. Did he touch any other files he wasn't supposed to? Everything. So it says he confirmed the bug. This is what we know. It's called from 5 different sites in connection. Lines 3149 and 3382 both run during startup paths. That's the duplicate. Cool. So here's the prompt. And he tells me copy everything in between the 3 dash delimiters This is everything he's writing right here to fix this bug that you would have written, hey, we have an issue with duplication of kick gifts, whatever you have. And then Claude Code would have to go try to debug and find the exact problem and all that shit. Now I have a professional level coder, a software engineer, that tells him directly, look at this. Not only does he tell him exactly what to fix, but he tells him to go inside Chrome Dev Tools. So we have some plugins enabled that helps him work faster and test the application quickly. And then he has to go in and debug it and actually check, verify via CDP that kick is actually connected, verify reconnect still works, regression check, verify manual toggle still works, regression check, quit the app cleanly. Step 9, he then commits it, right? These are the constraints. 3 max iterations while he's running these tests. Do not push, do not modify parser code or pusher key. Use Chrome Dev Tools, not computer use. The diff should be small. Guard at the top of connect kick plus state flag in it. Plus flag. You see all this shit? Begin with step 0. So that's tight, dude. We have this set up and it says in plain language or English, what this fix does. It says in plain English, this fixes the bug where conduit makes 2 connections to kick instead of 1. That's why your single sub fires 3 alerts and why your kick donation totals are probably double. The fix adds a check that says, if we're already connecting or connected, skip the duplicate call. It won't break the reconnect on disconnect logic or manual connect disconnect button. What you'll see after this commit, log file shows 1 connect kick call, single kick sub will fire 1 sub alert, Streamlabs forwarding to the same blah, 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 blah. Donor totals should be more accurate. All of your existing kick functionality, chat, sending message alerts keeps working exactly as is. What this doesn't fix yet, and it lists all that, right? Okay, pre-flight before paste. So it tells me this. So before I even paste that, he tells me copy this because he wants to check some shit. Okay, so we copy that. We open up our terminal, literally just paste it here. Bam, just like that. That kills my app in the background. He's wanting to make sure that the app is killed. You guys can't see it, just turned off, right? So app is killed. I could paste this to him, but I could just tell him ready to begin. It doesn't matter. Should be a clean slate, then paste the prompt. Okay. And I just want to tell him one more thing. Small change going forward. The plain English explanation is not part of the paste. Write it after the prompt to Claude. Okay. I just wanted to tell him something simple. He was pasting this plain English portion alongside the rest of the prompt. So I'm just going to go back here and copy it all the way to the top. Right here, task, done, Command C. And we go into Claude here, the actual Claude for coding, and Command V. There you go. And he's just going to start running all of this shit himself. And you can see some of the changes I've done already before. He's tested everything himself already. Super tight. And now we're going to watch him working here. He's doing the pre-flight. He's checking the commit, clean tree, no electron running, investigate the kick state. He's reading. He's doing exactly what he was told to do. This is the iteration. This is like how the magic happens. Because now we've integrated terminal where we're checking actual individual lines of code. The outputs that we're getting from Claude here are absolutely incredible now and very precise. And everything is working as intended from the get-go. No more iterating and wasting credits and having to deal with all this extra bullshit. And how much does this extra high use? We'll see. We'll see how much of this we can actually code up today. Alrighty. How far along is he getting? Here we go. Now he's running. Whatever it is that he's doing. Investigating report. Okay. Hey, what's going on, Zeno? Doing Git backups. It's nice. Yeah, so everything will be, you're going to see that all our states are saved. So he's making sure that we have everything properly set up. And you're seeing the diff on the right there of all the changes he's making above my head. How fucking cool is this, dude? And you can add tasks. What's tasks? Let's see if tasks actually filled up with anything. Oh, it is. Okay. It just has below here. You can't see it, but it looks like all my Git commits, which we don't care to see. Yeah. And I can scroll through. These are the changes he's actively making right here. Look. Which is tight. See, now he's launching the app with remote debugging. He's debugging the app right now. Here's the app. I'm going to pull it up on the right here. And he's just going to run a bunch of tests. And now he's literally just testing the app and we're waiting. I have it here off to the side and we're chilling, boys. And this is what you do. Is the desktop app Windows, Mac? Yeah, they have it both for Windows and Mac. Kick is unchecked, so the startup autoconnect didn't fire. Let me manually trigger the double call scenario to verify the guard works. There you go. He's doing some testing shit right here. He just manually connected Kick himself. You could see in the chat window at the bottom left, Kick just appeared down here. Right here. He's connecting all these and doing the tests. He's running tests right now, debugging what the fuck is going on. And you can see that now Kick is starting to populate. Every time you guys on Kick start typing, since we're connected, I'm receiving all the text. I could connect YouTube and Rumble and Twitch also right now manually, but I'm letting him run and verifying everything so I don't break some shit. So the app is using Chrome Dev Tools. And then I have another app that I should show you guys with Claude Memory. Which essentially keeps a running context of what you're doing. So once you do start up a new conversation, you could just feed him the Claude Memory and he'll have access to everything. Can it copy games to make them free to play? It depends on how complex your game is. Like we copied Flappy Bird in one shot. Yeah, it depends. It depends on what you're building. We could play fucking Flappy Bird right now while he's working on that shit. Now he's doing the regression test by himself. He's running tests in the background as we're talking. He's just checking some bugs for duplication of Kick. He's like reconnecting, disconnecting Kick, and he's checking some shit. All right. He's making the commit right now. And then you'll see how we go through it all. What we're going to get now is a final report. And what we're going to do is paste the final report to our senior software engineer here. And he's going to tell us, go in the terminal. I want to check the code. And we repeat this process practically over and over again. And this is what it is. And then you can build out a product, and hopefully, if your idea hits, see, we just committed. We have a new commit with that serial, and it's not pushed yet to Git, of course, because we don't want it to. He gives the summary of everything. Also a note, he didn't run code review as the instructions suggested because the diff is small and surgical. And he already validated behavior empirically via CDP. It wasn't needed. Okay. We're waiting for that to finish. Done. And I'm just going to copy this. We're copying this report. Oh, we have a full report at here. Interesting. Okay. See, that's new. So we copy this. We pin it in our senior to review. Our senior is now going to review this shit and see. Verify and push. There you go. Paste all three. He wants to see the stat, only the SRC dashboard connection. He wants to see the log. He wants the full diff, the actual guard logic. So I can confirm kick.connecting is properly synchronized before the await. There you go. If the diff looks right, push. So it says bug finding from Claude Code's investigation. The root cause analysis is sharp. The async race window between old guard check and the actual new WebSocket was the real bug. So he found all the issues. Look at all of this shit. And he says there may be a pattern here. It could be context bridge, IPC, blah, blah, blah. He says code review skip. I'll allow it this time, but flagging. Claude Code's reasoning is fair. 18 lines, surface level flag tracking, behavior already validated empirically. For this commit specifically, that's defensible. But I want to see the rule clearly going forward. Code review is mandatory for connection logic, parser changes, security sensitive code regardless of size. Suggested handling. Run code review now before push as a backstop. It takes 30 seconds. If it flags nothing, push. If it flags something, we address it before push. Huh. So cool. Let's start with what he wanted. He wants to verify this. Cool story. We bring up our terminal. Same shit. We can make a fresh window here. Actually, we don't want a new window. We want a new tab. So we have a new tab and we command paste that. Here is all of everything that he wants to see. We copy all of it and then we send it to our senior to review. Bam. And now he's looking over everything. Diff is clean. The logic is correct. Reviewing key points. Guard placement is right. Flag cleared in all exit paths. That's all 5 paths. No leak scenarios. Push it. Git push. After push, you said code review wasn't run. And given my earlier rule about mandatory review for connection logic, I want to see this expectation cleanly going forward without making you redo to commit. This one's fine to ship as is. So cool, dude. We just copy git push and we're going to push this and done. And this is all, look at this, properly pushed, done. How cool is that? So you're constantly git pushing. You're constantly having those save points. If anything were to go wrong, you could revert back. There's so many guys that don't know about this, that they're working through massive changes and then halfway in, something broke and they don't know where the break happened. I make a small change. He reviews that the change was fixed. It gets tested, get pushed, committed, done. Then we move on to the next problem. This is how you properly do this. And so we're done. And check this out. I just paste that part of the push for him to verify. Right? I copy it here. Same shit, just to let him know. Right there, he sees that the push was correct. It tells him pushed clean, 616E50B on origin, critical bug killed. Duplicate log writes the investigation prompt. Okay, this is a diagnostic prompt. Find the cause first, then fix in a follow-up commit. Same pattern that worked on the kick connection bug. Copy everything between the delimiters. Same shit. He's writing it right now. This is our next test that we're going to do. And we are now systematically working through all the bugs and the fucking problems in the code potentially. And we're waiting for him. Look at how long this shit is. Cool. How cool is this, guys? Gives you hope? Yeah. I was banished for 24 hours, apparently. Yeah. So here we go. He's done. Pre-flight check. He wants us to make sure the app is officially killed. We're just going to check here, double check that, by pasting it in case it's running in the background. We don't know for sure, but there you go. Git status. Everything is good. Up to date. Nothing to commit. Working tree is clean. We got that. So now we just literally copy this. Begin with step 0. He has all the rules for him here. Right? And we paste. Bam. There you go. And you keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, just like this. I no longer have to even talk to the chat. They're practically only talking to each other. I'm like this, the director in the symphony. I have the idea in general of what I want, what the software should look like, how it should run, what it should look like in general when it's performing as I'd want it to aesthetically, but also from a functionality point of view. And I tell him that, hey, I'd like to implement this feature or this needs to change or whatever. But when it comes to this coding side and working through the bugs where we are I'm layman. I don't know any of this code shit, but what I can do is make sure that one of them is checking the work of the other. And as he's checking the work, he has the context of all the changes that have been made. This is the beauty of this, because when I go to save that file that says, mark every change we've made, all the bugs we fixed, all the bugs we just discovered, the chat side has all the context of the code's changes. Before, when you used to speak back and forth, your chat never saw the code that was being changed. He just guessed that Claude Code did what you asked him to do. And so he would work toward the next part of your conversation based on an assumption that he couldn't verify. We're now making it so that he verifies. He makes us go in the terminal, grab the exact line of code that was changed. He checks it, verifies it's good, then we move on to the next problem. It's extremely important for his memory to have all of this, because in our project file, when we're done working on all this stuff, we're going to drag that new file into the project. So the next fresh conversation knows exactly what we've been working on, how we worked on it. It's beautiful. IRL coding is really hard, man, and they're all different from each other. Yeah, I bet. So he's doing tests right now. He's running everything. Extra high might be a little intense. We're 19% of our, what is that, 5-hour limit? Maybe extra high is too much. Maybe we could run this shit on, fuck it, we're keeping extra high. We don't want to deal with problems. Give him big brains. We pay for big brains. See, he's relaunching and he's testing everything. And as he's running all those goodies there, we could just read what the fuck in plain English is actually going on. This is detective work, not a fix. Same approach we used to find the kick double connection. Prove the bug exists with the live test. Then isolate which layer is causing the doubling. Is it the renderer code, the IPC bridge, the main process handler? file transport configured twice. Once we know exactly where the duplication happens, the actual fix is usually 1 or 2 line change in a follow-up commit. So we can see right here, it says live test confirms hypothesis 100%. Perfect reproduction. So he found it. He found exactly the fix. What you'll see during this session says Claude Code reads several files to map all the log related paths, launches conduit with debugging enabled, fires a deterministic test message from the renderer console. All of this shit they're doing. We don't know what the fuck half of this means. How cool is that? Now he's fixing everything. He found out what the problem was. Guys, this is what I've been doing offline for hours at a time. And the amount of progress I've made with this system is fucking incredible. I can't wait to release this app and just see how it does out of curiosity, and then work on my next app for a product on the App Store for phones, for iOS and Android. That's going to be interesting. So we're just going to keep vibe coding a bunch of shit. There you go. He confirmed what the issue was. Now he's giving us all the details here. And that's it. He's finished, right? So there you go. And we're just going to copy this. And we're going to paste it in here. Thanks for the 2, brother. Steve Jobs believed in hiring people smarter than him. Yes, he did. And we're pasting that on the senior software engineer side. And look, he tells you good diagnostic work. The smoking gun is clean. Writes to disk twice because on log callback already routes through log, which itself calls window.api.log to file. Speaking Chinese to me right here. We don't know what the hell any of this means. Doesn't matter. The fix is copy everything between the delimiters. Great. And that's what we're doing. This is crazy that you can do this. Look, he's writing everything out from step 0 to step whatever. Step 7 is commit, get status, all of that stuff. Final report. In plain English, 1-line fix. Remove the redundant window.api log to file. Call from inside call log. Other path, blah, blah, blah. Shit we don't know. The verification CDP runs 3 tests. That's it. Says patterns noticed. 3 double firings bugs killed this week. Kick pusher, kick web, socket, log writes doubled. About to fix. All 3 came from the same class of mistake. A function call site got added to a new path without checking whether the old path was already doing the work. Cool. Should be done, he says, in 5 to 10 minutes, but obviously this should be much faster. We copy this literally and we'll paste it down here. And this is it, dude. And you're just watching an app being created. And every day we learn more. And he's going through step 0, the pre-flight. Step 1, apply the fix. There goes the diff on the right. He's making the changes. You're seeing it. That's it. Fix applied. He's launching the app to test. Make sure it's working as intended. He's running the test in the background. And then we'll have a clean git push. Moving on to the next shit. Moving on. And then we're going to build all the cool infrastructure shit. How tight is that? There you go. He kills the app again. All 6 tests passed, or whatever he said here. All tests passed. He's verified everything. Good to go. I just have one side question for him, actually, so I could see you guys chatting up and stuff. One. Oh, they're independent fully. Great. Let me open up Conduit, boys, so you can have everything here working properly. Awesome. Now I could actually see you guys chatting and shit. I was worried about that. The other quiet issue, let's see first. There's one real conflict. Auth server port 3000. Both builds try to spin up stable build first, then dev build. Okay. Do. The other quiet issue, Electron store data. Both builds read write to the same library. Both load the same donor data. Yeah, I'm not doing all that. We'll run our stable one later. Cool. Okay, he finished everything here. We just got to copy paste this. Code review diff, then push. Here it is. I think I could just open this too, if I'm not mistaken. So I opened it here behind my head. You guys can't see. I'm just reading it right now. I'm curious. Fix report. Let's see. Let's see if I paste him this, what he says. Might be an easier way to do this. Sharp work, verify, and push. There you go. So now we're going to open up terminal again. We're working on an app, chat unifier. So everybody can use one command center, if you will, while you're multi-streaming. Pull up terminal. See what we got here. Okay. And we need to just copy this portion as we've been doing. Send it to him because that's what he wants to see. He says paste both. If clean, we'll push. So he's verifying, he's checking everything for me. This is the beauty in this. Git push. There you go. And we're done. Verified clean. So we're just going to push. Bam. Completed that. Checkpoint saved. Hey, good to see you too, brother. And then we keep on moving, boys. Oh, he didn't finish writing this. Damn, he's a fucking animal. We should scroll some craziness on X, huh? While we're vibe coding. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see what the hell is going on. Don't need to do the pre-flight. Let's paste the prompt. Let's let him work. Let's see what we got here. Oh, CAD design is doing really good. CAD modeling, where we were talking about that. White House narrowly failed to pass a resolution to end Trump's war with Iran, losing by a single vote. Only one Democrat, Jared Golden, voted with Republicans to allow the war effort to continue.
On this vote, the yeas are 213. The nays are 214, with one answering present. The concurrent resolution is not adopted.
The Uniparty strikes again. I don't even think I could just randomly scroll.
Weapon as it originally was. And what is the difference between the nuclear weapon as it originally was, the detonator, and the second generation, the hydrogen bomb, etc.?
Well, there was no point to duck and cover. I mean, you weren't going to survive this thing. It was just at a different scale. I mean, you're talking about orders of magnitude bigger bombs than what already caused the emperor to surrender in Japan. We're just talking inconceivable levels of destruction.
Well, let's conceive it.
My guess is that one or two devices means that Los Angeles is no more.
By no more, you mean completely flattened and razed to the ground?
Yeah. I mean, the Soviets, of course, were slightly late to the game. Sakharov was the father of that bomb. And of course, they had to go big or go home. So they did the Tsar bomb. And the Tsar bomb, I think it's in Nova Zemlya. Forget.
Nova Zemlya, yeah. New land.
New land.
New land, yeah.
And this was at a scale that wasn't conceivable. I wish I had the American comparable device was this thing called Castle Bravo, which was way bigger than we had expected. We didn't know how well we could control it. But
Trace Gifter just
if I
gifted
played on
3
the
subs.
simulators, all of these concentrated
He's testing the app in the background. You hear him? You could see it too on the left side of the screen.
cities are just instant, uninhabited.
Perfect.
And what are the long-term effects of these types of weapons? Does it mean that the land that they have been detonated on will never be able to bear fruit, etc.?
Well, my understanding is that the hydrogen ones are actually cleaner, that you really have gamma radiation in the form of like photons that are very hard to guard against. And the other ones have these radioactive isotopes that linger on for forever. But I've never really cared that much about the post-war scenarios. My feeling is that once you get going, everything that you know about life as we've led it is gone.
So, and not to say nothing of the fact that, as we understand it currently, I think if you had nuclear war between major players, the tit for tat would actually end all human life on Earth, wouldn't it?
Even if it didn't. You're talking about setting back everything that we know of as life, as modern life, to levels that I don't know whether there's subsistence living or hunter-gathering or somebody's got some crazy compound, but I'm not going there. It's too much. And by the way, there's a comparable version of this for pandemic, and we're talking about playing with things where we're just not. If you saw what happened with COVID, it just took over the planet.
Trace2 Gifter just gifted 3 subs.
Hey, Trace2 Gifter.
And what is the difference between the nuclear?
All right. We're going to have to watch, actually. We'll break down something else while he's coding, and then we just go back and forth that way. Let's random Fox News shit. That's not important. Perfect. What's going on in the world of the Uniparty slop? Hunting the Dark Fleet. Oh, breaking. Iran has agreed to almost everything, huh?
All right, so let's get to Jen Griffin now. Jen, a lot coming out of what we just heard from the president. That's right, Sandra, and I think you pointed out that the president said not once but twice that the blockade may have been more effective than even the bombing, which does beg the question why you didn't start with the blockade if it was so effective, because we've been reporting for the last 24 hours that Iran can only handle a backlog of about 2 weeks in terms of their oil supplies before their economy starts to crater. So that blockade, we heard from the Pentagon this morning, they have turned 14 ships back, and they have expanded this blockade to going after any of the sanctioned vessels, Iranian sanctioned vessels, that dark fleet, the shadow fleet that carries oil around the world to China and other countries. They're doing that in the Indo-Pacific, and that Admiral Paparo of Indo-PACOM is leading that with naval vessels out in the Pacific. So very notable. I think what was also interesting is that the Lebanon-Israel peace, the ceasefire, had to take place before Iran was willing to agree to carry forward with
Donor
the,
during burst donated $10. Tip during gift spree.
Oh, hey, he's still
so that
testing.
was a really
Damn.
important sign. If they in fact have agreed to this and there is a ceasefire, and you see the visuals in Beirut, and it looks very calm there tonight.
Interesting.
Yield test gifter just gifted 3 subs.
Perfect. Perfect.
Interesting indeed.
Perfect.
And a Fox News alert, strong warning to Iran and an ironclad blockade. The Pentagon says thousands of U.S. service members are working to block Iranian ports. So far, 0 ships have been able to break through. It is all in an effort to ramp up pressure on the regime, and it seems to be having an impact. Welcome to a brand new hour of America's Newsroom. I'm Dana Perino.
Morning to you. Quite the day, right? On this Thursday, I'm Bill Hemmer. The blockade forcing at least 13 ships so far to turn around, and apparently the U.S. Navy has not been forced to board any of those. It applies to all vessels heading to or from Iranian ports. The U.S. now warning ships that ignore that blockade will be met with force, and the CENTCOM commander, Admiral Bradley Cooper, suggesting earlier today that Gulf allies stand ready to defend the U.S.
This message over and over again, which is we stand with you. Bahrain, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, and Jordan have been exceptional teammates. They defended Americans and they defended their own country. It's inspiring. And there's been no better teammate than Israel. Together, the 4 best air forces in the world, the Israeli Air Force, the U.S. Air Force, and the air forces of the U.S. Navy and U.S. Marine Corps, together met and exceeded our own military objectives over and over again. We've asked them to stay ready during this period, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Let's get to it with Jackie Heinrich reporting from the White House, Trey Yingst from Tel Aviv. And there are reports that the leadership from Lebanon and Israel are set to talk. Has that happened, Trey?
Yeah, Dana, good morning. That's not yet happened, but we have gotten a major update from the Pentagon on Operation Epic Fury. As diplomatic efforts play out, the Secretary of War, the Joint Chiefs Chairman, and also the CENTCOM Commander, Admiral Brad Cooper, giving an update saying the United States should be prepared and will be prepared if combat operations resume.
Our troops are highly motivated, they're focused, they're vigilant, and they're ready. And they're using this time to do a couple of things. We're rearming, we're retooling, and we're adjusting our tactics, techniques, and procedures. There's no military in the world that adjusts like we do, and that's exactly what we're doing right now.
Joint Chiefs Chairman General Kane described the ongoing U.S. naval blockade, saying that 13 ships have made the wise choice to turn around and not test the blockade. At this point, no vessels have been boarded by U.S. forces as these ships adhere to American warnings. U.S. commanders remain in close contact with their Israeli counterparts, who are also preparing for the possibility that negotiations fail.
Our American friends are constantly updating us on their contacts with Iran. Our goals and those of the United States are identical. We want to see the enriched material removed from Iran. We want to see the cancellation of enrichment capabilities.
Do you think Iran is going to go for that? Do you think Iran is going to allow the United States access directly to go dig out all the enriched uranium material? What are the odds that this is actually going to happen? Why should Iran do that? I'm just being honest. What leverage? How does Iran win? They got bombed to smithereens. The oil that's being blockaded, can it be stopped if it's just transported across border? Pakistan and China? What's the play here? Are these ceasefires just a lull, a pause in hostilities, and then they're going to resume? Nothing here is really adding up.
Within Iran, and of course, we want to see the opening of the straits. It is too early to say how this will end or even how it will progress.
We're also hearing today from the Iranians who have indicated that messages are being sent between the United States and Iran aimed at closing the gaps toward a broader ceasefire deal.
Therefore, now that the war has taken place, the negotiation that follows should be one in which the rights and interests of the Iranian nation are acknowledged. If Iran's rights and interests, which are the legal rights of a nation, are recognized and its dignity respected, naturally, the negotiation can be fruitful.
Regional sources remain optimistic about the possibility of an agreement with Iran, but those military preparations continue. Dana?
Thank you, Trey.
Meanwhile, the White House suggesting a second round of peace talks might be in sight. Jackie Heinrich, she's on that story.
Possible.
A lot to talk about there.
Possible second round of peace talks.
Jackie, where would you like to begin?
Hello.
Hello, Bill. Good morning. White House officials have made clear that if another round of talks come together, they would likely happen in Islamabad again. They also made clear that Pakistan is the only mediator in this negotiation, despite help being offered from a number of countries, and also reports circulating that the U.S. is requesting an extension of the ceasefire. That expires next week.
I saw some reporting, again, bad reporting this morning, that we had formally requested an extension of the ceasefire. That is not true at this moment. We've remained very much engaged in these negotiations, in these talks. You heard from the Vice President directly and the President this week that these conversations are productive and ongoing.
In the meantime, the White House is waging economic war on Iran with a naval blockade of Iran's ports. The Pentagon with this update this morning.
13 ships have made the wise choice of turning around. Any ship that would cross the blockade would result in our sailors executing pre-planned tactics designed to bring the force to that ship, if need be, board the ship and take her over. And that includes a series of escalated force options, which could include warning shots and others.
The news out of the Pentagon this morning, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs said the U.S. is expanding its blockade of Iran to include all ships, regardless of nationality, warning American forces will actively pursue any dark fleet vessels seen helping Iran sailing anywhere in the world. Secretary Hegseth also said China has assured the U.S. that it will not be sending weapons to Iran. Officials here say the economic pressure from this blockade will end Iran's oil revenues and help drive it toward the negotiating table for a deal to end the conflict, Bill.
Okay, Jackie, thanks. Jackie Heinrich from the White House. More coming up from you a bit later today. Thanks.
Wow. I wonder what the fuck China's thinking in all of this, dude. Shout outs to Queens. So we blocked the strait completely. China had a cool deal with Iran. They're getting everything in yuans. Then, after the strait's blocked and no Chinese vessels are allowed, China blinks. If we are to believe the current reporting, China blinks, does nothing. They don't escort their tankers with Navy vessels. Weird. So China could have flexed right here and potentially led us into World War III, just calling America's bluff, saying, we don't give a fuck about your blockade. We have a deal with Iran. You will risk World War III if you do not allow our tankers through. Escort them with the Chinese Navy and see what happens. I don't think the United States would have pushed that far. But you never know. So, okay, did China blink and not send her Navy out there to escort anything? Just to test the resolve of the United States? So so China folded, at least officially. They have been sending weapons, material, and all that shit under the radar, of course. Large transport planes with their transponders being turned off have landed from China to Iran. So that's always a thing. Chinese have been providing them satellite data and targeting information through Chinese satellites. So that's always a thing. So they are getting help. It just may not be officially on paper. So China gets to go ahead and say, well, we're not helping them actually. And we urge calm and peace and for everybody to engage in diplomacy while they're arming the other side, which is what we do. It's a proxy war. China is interested in grinding the United States down to dust through Iran. So if China can keep Iran alive in the war, it makes perfect sense for her to do so. So these talks may be smokescreen for the eventual ground invasion of the United States that may be coming with a 50,000. Plus, I saw another 10,000 troops headed over there. So we have upwards of 60,000 troops amassed in the Middle East. So if this were to fail, these round of talks, and we do invade with 50,000+ troops, well, that's like an ace for China. Now they're going to provide so much material to the country, as much as they possibly can, to grind us down to dust, to make this an absolute quagmire. Kind of like what we did to Russia. They saw it works. We feed Ukraine tons of weapons, both the United States and the EU. And without them, that Ukraine would have fallen to Russia a long time ago. The only reason they're still alive is because we're like literally propping up their entire army and their economy. Imagine if Russia and China decide to do the same with Iran. It could end up being a zombie economy where it's crippled economically completely and it's just surviving. All day-to-day functionality, governance, everything is just propped up by Russia and China. Can you imagine a situation like that? So we're fighting an enemy that just can't die because the two biggest players in the world besides us is supplying them with weapons, with fuel, with targeting data, with other critical components and materials. And then what do? You go mountain to mountain in all these underground bunker style facilities to dismantle all launch platforms and all manufacturing capability of said drones. That's insane, dude. That's an insane task. If we had so much problems in Afghanistan, what the fuck would make Iran easier? I don't know. I remain skeptical. I am always rooting for peace, and I hope there's a ceasefire, and who knows what may happen. But it's just strange that we keep amassing weapons and troops. Congress just authorized the war to continue. And why would it stop? We now have blockaded the strait. Yes, got the live back. Yeah, we're chilling. We're coding. Damn, he's been running this. Quit and verify, clean tree, verified. He's been running hella test. He's been running for the last 18 minutes. We're coding in the background. This is the proper way we should have been doing it.
Republican Senator from Arkansas, Tom Cotton. He is the chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee. And you are a little closer to what the Democrats are saying. And Senator Schumer continues to slam President Trump over and over again, regardless of the changes that we're seeing on the ground in the last few days. Watch here.
Every metric indicates that Donald Trump's handling of Operation Epic Fury has been an epic failure. Donald Trump promised this war would be won in a matter of days or weeks. It's now day 47. The Strait of Hormuz is not only closed, it's become an Iranian cash cow, and Iran controls the strait is greater today than before when Trump started the war.
What's the buzz amongst the senators, especially the Democrats, as you hear it?
Well, Dana, it's regrettable that Democratic senators like Chuck Schumer, as most Democrats in Congress and the liberal media, would root against American troops to succeed if it meant that Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu failed. But that's basically where we hear from the Democrats, is they don't want to see Donald Trump succeed, and therefore they're rooting for an American failure. But almost everything Chuck Schumer said there is false. As you heard from Admiral Cooper, our military is either on time or ahead of schedule on every single line of effort. Missiles, missile launchers, drones, their Navy, their Air Force. And now Iran is on the economic ropes as well. They tried to close the Strait of Hormuz. We've always known they could temporarily do that. But we have the power to either permanently close it Either everything
Fox
comes
News
out or
slop.
nothing comes out at all, or to permanently open it. So the ball really is back in Iran's court, but time is not on their side because they are losing hundreds of millions of dollars of badly needed revenue every single day this blockade's in place.
Senator, 4 weeks from today, we're going to be watching President Donald Trump and Xi Jinping meet in Beijing, China. And just crossing right now, the Chinese foreign minister is saying that Beijing's priority is to force Iran and U.S. back to the tables of negotiation. In the meantime, you've got this from the president, talked about Chinese weaponry. He said, very happy that China is permanently opening the Strait of Hormuz. They have agreed not to send weapons to Iran. Now, weapons are different from satellites, all right, as you well know as a military man. And the Financial Times says Iran used Chinese spy satellite to target U.S. bases. What can you add to this about which way this is coming and which way it's going?
Well, Bill, I can't confirm or deny that specific report, like I haven't confirmed or denied reports about Russian assistance to Iran. I will say it sounds like something that both Russia and China would do. They've done it in the past during the Cold War, for instance, and I know that President Trump and senior administration officials have spoken to their counterparts in China and Russia, saying that we won't tolerate such aid to Iran, as the president just stated there. Furthermore, China is not going to force the United States to do anything. They're not going to force us back to a negotiating table if Iran is not willing to overcome their stubbornness. I will say this blockade imposes much more pain on China and other nations in East Asia and Europe than it does on the United States, because those nations are much more dependent on Iranian oil. So if anything, China is the one that's probably going to start feeling some of this pain and putting pressure on Iran to be less stubborn and to be willing to meet the president's very simple demands. No nuclear weapons, no uranium enrichment, no long-range missile forces, no support for terrorism. Those are simple demands.
Transcriber feeder for news and combine it with an API/RSS feed for news. Yeah, I was thinking of having my own bot that just scrapes for content and have all the information needed. That would be a very cool way, but I like to browse the internet here and there, waste a little time on some slop, read some articles, you know. And just hanging out, just hanging out on the internet.
To be a normal nation.
I want to ask you something about an upcoming debate in Congress, because this is an issue that makes me want to.
Okay, fine. We're going to have to watch that Trump interview with Maria. We can't not watch that. We're hitting it. Where is it? After my 1 million tabs, there it is. The exclusive interview. Hey, Travis, appreciate the subscription, brother. Welcome. And thank you for the 50 kicks. Get the fart sounds ready, he says. President. Well, okay, hold on. Before we even start that, we got our fix here, our report. We're copying everything. We're having him coding in the background, players. Chill music. Oh, that's the same report from the previous fix. Oopsies. Oopsies. Here we go. Oopsies. Let's see if that was it. There we go. This is excellent diagnostic work. Yada, yada, yada. I'll spare you all the details. We're coding up that command center app that combines absolutely every platform into one unified piece of software. So anybody that's going to be doing multi-streaming in the future will be able to do it from one window. No needing 10 different pages open to run half your shit. Everything will be controlled. Okay. But before we touch any code, we need my data. What do we need? Test 1, pure sub burst, donation autoplay off, no donations queued, first 3, expected sub, okay, test 2, single, test 3, real stream conditions, sub burst with donations. Okay, 2 important side findings, burst window. to alert is null in your config, meaning your donation alert plays a default 880 beep instead of a real sound file. If you don't have a donation sound file, this is by design. If you do and it's not loading, that's a separate bug. Quick check, do you have a donation sound file uploaded? If yes, is it null at runtime? Okay, I have to answer some questions and then we'll start on that video. Okay. Run all 3 tests. Also, I can upload a sound myself and it works. The upload fires. If I remove the sound I uploaded, the default beep returns. Cool. Okay, recommendation, run those tests. Verified donation sound config. Okay, that already works. What to do next session? Rumble Twitch view, both isolated clean scope. Doesn't depend on user feedback. Hygiene fix, it takes 5 minutes. Then we wait for your sub sound test data before touching the code. Going to a viewer counter bug means starting a new investigation, which may take 30 minutes. Okay. He recommends option A, yeah? Run all 3 tests with Chrome Dev Tools. Also, I can upload a sound. Okay. Then option A. Coolio. Did I lose weight? Yes. Thanks, Bresket. Appreciate you tuning in, brother. Test sub burst behavior. Cool. He's writing out the next thing and we'll start that next chat or video, excuse me. Over here confusing myself. Damn, this is a big ass test. Look at this shit. In plain English, this runs 3 sound tests we need, then applies option A fix. If test 1 confirms the code is clean, we'll see a demo mode firing 3 gift bursts with no donations. Donation autoplay off. Should hear only sub sounds, no donation beeps. Cool story. All right, so he's going to run a test in the background. Coolio. All right. Are my streams scheduled? No, they're not. Watching the coding live streams are always the most interesting. Yeah. So we're just going to copy this long ass prompt here and we're just going to literally post it to code. And that's it. While he's off running, doing business, we're going to go back to what we were just watching. And he's going to be running all these tests in the background.
You were just coming on.
So this is the recent interview with Maria Bartiromo and Donald Trump. Let's see.
One of the most
I have not watched it, but I've heard it's
consequential.
Classic Trump.
Weeks anybody has ever seen, from striking Iran to going to NATO, to announcing 2 deals, and then this Supreme Court victory. Have you been able to digest what has occurred in the last 7 days?
Not really. It was a pretty wild period of time, and I really think in 6 months we've taken the country and turned it around. I was told by the King of Saudi Arabia, by the leader of Qatar and the leader of UAE, when we went over there, we brought back $5.1 trillion investment into the United States. They said, you know, you're presiding now over the hottest country in the world. And
Test one
a year
gifter
ago,
just
we thought
gifted
your
3
country
subs.
was dead. It could never come back. It was so incompetently run by a very bad president. And I said, you're right, this country is hot. And that was a couple of months ago. You know, now we're talking about what we've done recently. So the country is really going. The numbers are great. I watch you in the mornings, and you're giving those numbers, and they're really good. No inflation. We have a bad Fed chairman, but other than that, we have, you know, great. It doesn't even matter. The numbers are so good, it doesn't matter that he keeps the rates artificially high. But it's been an amazing period of time.
Test
When
3
you went to
gifter
the
just
Middle East
gifted
and you
3 subs.
strengthened those relationships with all of those countries you just mentioned, did you have an idea that you would have to do something with regard to Iran? Because you teased it a little. You said, look, they've got to come to the table and talk. Something's going to happen.
Well, it was getting a little bit hot, and we knew they had a lot of sites, probably 3 plus the 1. But they had 3 main sites, and we knew they're going to have to either give them up. And I thought we could do it during negotiation, and we just about had it done. And then they said, we want enrichment. Enrichment doesn't mean like air conditioning, and it doesn't mean to jack up your car. Enrichment is a bad word.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, you got so much oil, what do you need that for? And they said, well, we need it. And I wouldn't let that happen. I think people wouldn't have understood it if I allowed that to happen. So we had.
That's so crazy. From the whole no new wars, or forced to negotiate. He had old tweets saying Obama's an idiot for having to negotiate with Iran. He's going to try to start a war to stay in office. Like, this is insane.
Had a 60-day
That's
talk.
so crazy to see.
And that delayed them a lot. And then we said, let's go at it. And it just worked out. And we wanted to work out also for Iran. They were beaten up. And so was Israel. In all fairness, they were both very tight. We call it the 12-day war. That was an intensive war. But the thing that I wanted to do, and I've said it on your show, if you look back 30 years ago or 25 years, we've been doing your show a long time, and nobody like you. But you look back at the early interviews, I would say Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. They've wanted this for years, and they were weeks away from getting it. And those pilots went in there with those beautiful planes and the most sophisticated bombs anywhere in the world. Think of it, they can go 30 stories deep into granite. Who would think that's even possible? And they did obliterate it, it turned out. Then we had to suffer the fake news, where the fake news in CNN and the New York Times was saying, well, maybe it wasn't as good as Trump said. Maybe it wasn't totally obliterated, but it was destroyed, but not just horrible. And I could see it happening. And they tried to build that into a story. And then it turned out, no, it was obliterated like nobody's ever seen before. And that meant the end to their nuclear ambitions, at least for a period of time. And, a lot of people have said, well, do you think they're going to start again? I said, the last thing they want to do right now is think about nuclear. They have to put themselves back into condition and shape.
You tweeted, the Democrats leaked an intelligence.
They should be prosecuted.
Who specifically? Do we know who did it? Will you be able to find out?
You can find out. If they wanted, they could find out easily. You go up and tell the reporter, national security, who gave it. You have to do that.
Oh, shit.
I suspect we'll be doing things like that.
Well, those pilots were so courageous, and, you want to honor them. Are you going to do something for them?
Yes, they're going to come to the White House. But what you said is right. These people flew 36 hours in a small space, a big plane, but a small space that was mostly occupied by bombs. And they flew so brilliantly. And they hit a target the size of this circle. A little target, they say, half the size of a refrigerator door, from 50,000 feet up in the air, going at a rapid speed, because they're going very fast when they're over a pretty rough territory. And they hit it every single time. And then they knocked out 2 other sites aside from that.
Do you think that the Iran regime hid some of the enriched uranium before the strikes?
No. You mean, did they take it out of?
Is he live now? Hold on. Is he actually live now? Where is he live? Where is he live?
Test user 123 donated 10,000 kick. Test 3 donor donated $5. Donation during burst.
Would have had a nuclear weapon within 2 weeks to 4 weeks, and they would have used it long before this press conference, and we might have had a much different press conference.
Can I fucking rewind this or what? Mirror now. Is this the same shit? What's the background here?
Confirmation of Senator Mullen as your next DHS
Who's
secretary.
got this where I can rewind?
DHS funding bill. And Senator Thune said today, it's not a matter of whether or not your Republican colleagues agree with the policy. It's about changing the process. In other words, getting rid of the filibuster to get there.
So in order to get it, you're going to need Democrats.
Okay, dark blue background. Fucking hell. Fox Business, let's see.
And they're saving a write-off. They're having a write-off.
What the hell, bro?
And you get a...
God, does anybody have an actual link to which one of these are live actually?
We used to have...
Holy shit. Which one is the live one?
Half of all tax filers. So in one...
Is it this one? Perfect. Is it this? It has to be this one.
Form or another, more than 50% have taken advantage.
Okay.
People out there, I better not name them all because, you know, we're in all these. Look at all the television back there. Isn't that terrible? So much. Last summer, thanks to our Republican majorities in the House and Senate, I signed the great big beautiful bill, the largest.
This is it, right? This is it. This is the live one you were talking about.
Tax cuts and many other things for working families in the history of our country. It was actually, we added about 19 different bills. We were going to do one at a time or maybe 2 or 3, but I said, let's just do them all at one time. And thank goodness we did because the Republicans are out there fighting hard for a lot of good things like no men and women sports, like no open borders. You know, we have the safest border we've ever had. We have the safest communities. We have the best records. One thing that's always tough to say because it sounds sort of weird, but we have the least number of murders that we've had in 125 years. All the way back to 1900. Doesn't sound nice. You know? There's no nice way of saying that, but it's...
Yeah, that's the one.
Back to 1900. But every single American at every income level is more money in their pockets this week because of the Republican tax policies. And we got to win the midterms. If we don't, these policies are going to be taken away from you. The taxes are going to go through the roof. Look at these. Look at the states, these blue states, what is going on there with taxes. Look at what happened in Virginia. A person, we had a good governor there, and somebody got elected that she's gone crazy. She's gone totally crazy. Look at New York. I mean, he's a nice guy. Calls me all the time, says hi. But his policies are no good. He's chasing people out and causing a lot of harm to everybody. I mean, everybody's taxes are going through the roof. After 4 long years of brutal inflation under Biden and congressional Democrats, you deserve every single penny that you're getting now because you had to suffer. You suffered. We had the highest inflation in the history of our country under Biden. Sleepy Joe. He's the worst president we've ever had by far. Average refund. The average refund this season's over $4,000. And here in Las Vegas, many workers have reported refunds of $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 or more, and they've never had anything. It's all from no tax on tips alone. So,
no tax on tips. You are getting literal slop, bro. No tax on tips, boys. Holy crap. Well, they gutted $800 billion so that rich people get a tax cut. Jeez, bro. Medicare, Medicaid, just gutting programs, just gutting it. Hey, Hey, do you like your no tax on tips? So, how about them gas prices? Hooey. Wow.
You have no tax on Social Security for our seniors.
That's a good one.
Out there. And you have no tax on overtime. You know, this state covers them all. You have the seniors, you have the overtime, but you have no tax on overtime. You have no tax on tips, and you have no tax, think of it, Social Security. So those three things. And, you know, one other thing that we have that nobody talks about, but we've done a lot in the bill. If you have a small business or if you have a farm, you have no inheritance tax. You have no death tax. It's a big thing. You know, people go out.
Okay.
And they would borrow
Crumblies.
money, especially the
crumbs.
farmers. I mean, they go out and they leave their farm, and the farm is valuable. But
Yeah, but the farms are completely fucked now because they don't have any fertilizer. We've blockaded the strait. China's refusing to sell it. So the farmers are paying up the ass for all of these. Man, this is insane. What in the hell?
not a lot of cash. They live good. They wouldn't trade anytime. And they go out and they get a bill for taxes for the farm. The parents leave the farm to the children. The children go to the bank. They borrow a lot of money. They mortgage up the farm, and they end up losing the farm. They go bankrupt. They commit suicide, and it's a horrible thing that went on. You have no death taxes now. You have no inheritance taxes.
When are we getting rid of personal income tax?
Seeing his take-home pay skyrocket, a bellman at the nearby Paris hotel reportedly said words that no one has ever uttered before. God bless the IRS. Can you believe it? I've never heard that before. We have to patent that. We have to do something. Earlier this week at the White House, I met a wonderful woman named Sharon Simmons, a grandmother driving DoorDash to help support her husband's cancer treatment. She's got serious cancer. She's going to be okay, I think. Sharon delivered McDonald's to the Oval.
Dude, the no tax on tips one is the funniest of it all. Whoever reported their tips? You what? Nobody literally reports. It's like, here's something. It's actually nothing. We're gonna pretend to give you something that's actually a bunch of nothing, because a vast majority of you do not report your tips anyways, because they're all in cash. What?
Office. It was a little bit of a, to be honest, it was a little tacky. They come up with these crazy ideas.
Yeah, nothing
like
burger.
McDonald's, although that was the biggest ever on Google. They say #1 ever. And the garbage truck. I mean, we do these things in politics. They're a little embarrassing. They're a little tiny embarrassing, but we do them, and you win by landslides. It's one of the. So we got to keep doing them. No, we got to knock on the Oval Office door. This did not happen. That's the first maybe in the history of the Oval Office. And it was a very beautiful woman standing there with 2 big bags of McDonald's hamburgers. And I say,
Guys, you are getting presidential approval to eat the slop. How do you enjoy your slop that's poisoning you? Do his doctors not tell him to not eat that shit? Like, I don't know. Is this a psyop? I don't know what to even believe anymore. How could the president of the United States, can you imagine this? Has McDonald's being delivered to him? It's fucking poison. The doctors in the White House are like, you can't eat this, sir. Your blood sugar level, your fucking, your high blood pressure, we can't do this. Sir, I advise you, we can't. He has to be banned from McDonald's. Like, there's no way this dude is eating McDonald's daily. We can't live in this timeline. Please.
Is this really believable?
Donor donated $5.
The point of it was she made $11,000 that she had no idea was coming. And it was really great. It turned out to be really great. So as part of our tax cuts, we also...
So she was a prop. So the dude brought a DoorDasher or whatever to bring him his famed crispy chickens or whatever the fuck he's eating. And he used it as like a political prop so that he can push his no tax on tips messaging to all the plebs starving to death. Like, look how great Look how great my administration has been. This random lady, I totally didn't plan this at all, came here and look, she saved $11,000. Goyam, $11,000 on tips because what I did. Hey, look over here, not over there. Stop asking me about the Epstein files. Stop talking about the Iran war. Did you save money on your tips?
Included, no tax on overtime. And, you know, one of the things, though, that I think is so great, we have something that's never happened before. It was an idea that I thought up.
This shit is demoralizing because he's talking to the average voter. It's demoralizing because they're the masses. We're all forced to watch this and just, it's so incredulous. You look and the words come out and you go, are there people that buy this bullshit? Like, really? And the answer is yes, by the millions. You're outnumbered. A vast majority of your countrymen believe the slop. They are bots. Your country, you are surrounded by idiots. It almost feels like there's no hope.
Went to Scott. I went to some of our people. So when rich people do something, they always look for deductions, right? It's always deductions. They have deductions that...
All right, we finished our next batch of coding here. Hold on. We're just pasting our reports. Bring on NPC music. Verify and push, baby. Wow, it's so cool. So cool, just coding shit in the background. Nice. 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 Where's the terminal? Push that shit. Okay, commit is updated. Let's see. What did he want here? Knock out the commit hygiene. Coolio. And we are great. Nice. Okay. I should play NPC music while Trump's talking. Yeah. Good day to you, brother. 10 to 12 more cents. Mr. Olympia, here I come. Hey. Okay, he fixed this shit. And we're going to paste that. Knockout viewer counters next. Get session donation counter. You mentioned this multiple times across sessions, but I never got a specific symptom. Let's start with path A. Coolio. We need some Rage Against the Machine. All right. He's writing that. He'll get to coding and we continue. You hear one of our refineries are on fire? I don't know. Bo, your husband used to watch you, but notice the men in your comment section calling you out on sticking to making men masculine again, not falling the rabbit hole of Jew hate. We don't hate Jews. We're just calling shit out as is. What is it being politically illiterate? You mean the ADL has too much influence on American politics? That's all we're talking about. You shouldn't have dual citizenship and be able to hold office in the United States at any level. That's one. Number two, the ADL should be registered. It isn't. And number three, it's very simple to see that money and politics don't mix, and the United States has a huge problem, and Israel has an outsized impact. That's what I'm saying. I don't get into the whole hate and all that shit. I just call it how I see it. Very weird that we get into this war with Iran, and every time we seem to have a ceasefire or a peace deal's being worked on, Israel just bombs the negotiators that we're talking to, that were friendly to America, as if they want the war to continue. I mean, isn't that strange? So there's little inconsistencies like this that makes you question a lot of things. Yeah. I don't have a side. I'm not, pro anti this. I just call out, isn't that weird how this is happening? If the administration says we're working on a peace deal and then Israel comes in and bombs the negotiator, is the tail wagging the dog? Isn't that weird? They're supposed to be our vassal. We tell them what to do. Yeah, I don't have hatred for anybody. That's low IQ. Indian food, garbage. Sorry, no offense. No thanks. I do have the max plan. Yeah, I'm not into Indian food. No offense, guys. Yeah. To any Indians out there, I got Indian friends. I'm not, the smell is really strong. I fucks with coconut curry. I just don't like overall. What my take on Indian food is, overall meat for them is a luxury. I don't like cuisines where meat isn't the staple. So it's very heavy on rice and very heavy on spices. One, because they're in the South and spices are used as a way to keep the, viruses and contaminations away. That's why they spice their food so hard. See, in the North, we develop salt. We salt our food. and froze it. The global south has spicy food in general and all those powders and stuff like that because that's their version of salt in the climate. But in general, Indian food is just very heavy on vegetables and grains, which I'm not a fan of. Yeah. Okay, he's running the test, and we're ready to go back to the video. Where was that? Let's continue.
Everything. And middle class and middle income people, poorer people, they don't think in terms of deductions. So I said, you buy a car that's American made, give a deduction on the
Most of my viewers are vegetables anyway.
interest you pay on the
Why are
loan
you hating, bro?
that you use to buy the car. And everyone said, oh, that's good. It sounds simple, but it's never been done before. And you have that too. So when you go out and you take a loan on your car, you deduct the interest. It's a big deal for people. Never happened before. You would think it was sort of basic. I thought it was so brilliant when I thought it. But the truth is it never happened before. And nobody mentions it, but it's a very big factor. And it's having a huge impact on our car companies, which are expanding like never before. We're selling more cars now. A lot of it has to do with tariffs. You pay no tariffs if you come here. If you don't come here, you pay a lot of tariffs. And we're raising those tariffs very soon. Not on you, it's on people from the outside that don't build their plants here. We have now hundreds of billions. We have actually $18 trillion being invested in the United States.
18 trillion.
Reasons, but because of tariffs. Because of tariffs. If they sell their product into our country, they have to pay tariffs. If they make that same product here, they don't. So they're coming in. I'll tell you, pharmaceutical companies are coming in at levels that nobody's ever seen. We're having our drugs made here. Our prescription drugs are being made here, which is something that's very important.
Are they going to lower the cost
so
of those?
our tax cut for overtime workers have already been claimed by more than 26 million Americans, and America's finally had the president, the kind of president who believes in them. I believe in rewarding you for the great work you've done, the great job you've done, and for having to suffer for 4 years of embarrassment. Our country was an embarrassment. Our country, a year ago, our country was an embarrassment, and all over the world they laughed at us, and they don't laugh anymore. They are not laughing. They're not laughing anymore. I don't think anybody. Just ask those. I don't want to be a wise guy. I don't want to speak too soon.
Ask Maduro.
But we do very well. You notice that we're doing very well. And I will say the war in Iran is going along swimmingly.
Swimmingly.
Do whatever we want.
Bro, swimmingly. We can do whatever we want. Do you hear the self-glaze? Who does he have around him? All our Middle Eastern bases got destroyed. One of our aircraft carriers had to go dock in Croatia. They've downed F-35s. They've downed Strato tankers, F-15s. We just had to initiate. This is pure slop. They were claiming the largest, mission to recover an F-15 pilot, which was us really deploying special forces to try to grab the uranium. It failed. So then we had to bail them out. Okay. We lost, I think, an 810 Warthog over the Strait also. What else has been going on? Israel's getting bombed to smithereens also. Our partners, we can't protect them all. Vital oil and gas infrastructure has been taken offline. He was just a few days ago saying, open the fucking strait, just having a boomer meltdown on his Truth Social. And then before that was we don't need the strait. We don't even get our oil from there. So if we don't need the strait and we don't get our oil, why is he booming out of control talking about give me the fucking strait opened now or I will erase your whole fucking civilization. You're going back to the Stone Age, just like nuclear threats. WP, thanks, bro. Sure. we don't have them turned on. I have to read the alerts. None of this shit makes sense, dude. I saw a post on X. I don't know if I posted it to the channel. It said MAGA's not ready for this, but our government is run like the third world. We have a third world government in the United States right now. Yeah.
And it should be ending pretty soon. It was perfect. I mean, it's perfect. It was the power we have, our military. We have the most powerful military anywhere in the world. I built it 4 years, my first 4 years. And we're still building it. We're building it. We have the best military. We have the best equipment in the world, the best rockets and anti-rockets. You know, if you look at the way we shoot, you know, we had 111 rockets shot at one of our ships. I won't name the ship, but it was a beauty.
Ford.
And out of the 111 rockets shot, all 111 rockets, and these things move at about 3,000 miles an hour. You know, it's not like, oh, gee, we have plenty of time to think about it. Every single one of them, 111, were all shot down. Think of that. Shot down. They're laying at the bottom of the sea. So needless to say, it was a ship that they were shooting at. But we've had it. We had 101. We had 101, and then 2 days later we had 111. Every one of them was hit. That's the equipment that we have is incredible. There's never been anything like it. So in addition to no tax on Social Security, over 51 million seniors now pay. Seniors are loving me, and I love them.
No shit.
Of course.
No shit, dude. The only people still supporting him are literally the boomers that are like the evangelical boomers. Yes, we have incredible weapons. Yes, they're incredibly expensive. Yes, Iran is depleting our stockpiles with absolute cheap slop military weapons. Drones made of fiberglass for like 20 G's or less. It's not actually a win. But okay. Back to a little bit of coding. Key insights for me. Alrighty then. I love this new setup. I just have a diagnostic report right here. I copy it. It opens where my fucking head is. You instantly copy that entire output. And then it's literally everything he's pasted here. Repasted in like a text format. And then I literally just copy paste in here, and he's going to check everything right now. Like a good senior engineer. I guarantee you most Americans can't name 5 countries in the Middle East. Yeah. How's the new setup work? Oh, it's amazing, man. It's far more in-depth and it's much sharper. I have to paste this output. He says, yeah, I prefer this. You can build a real app with this setup. You don't need to know shit. Like I just copy paste. So he wants me to launch Conduit fresh, re-authenticate Twitch through the UI, disconnect and reconnect via OAuth button. Once you're back into Conduit and Twitch shows connected, paste this prompt to Claude Code. Alrighty then, let's do that. npm start. We are connected. Twitch, disconnect. Sign in. Twitch authorized. Alrighty then. And then copy, paste the command. Bam. He's doing it. And you see how I just go back and forth from all of them? Quick conduit manually close the window. Oh, I have to launch him with remote debugging. Okay. One sec. Done. And we'll just disconnect Twitch one more time. Disconnect. Twitch authorize, close the window. Double checking. Okay, let's just do another disconnect. Authorize. And, all right. Okay, try again. Alrighty. Deferred until next live stream. Rumble viewer counter need live one Rumble endpoint testing. Okay, I'm going to tell I'm currently live right now. Working on the app with the live stream watching. Haha. Pure planning, diagnostic mode, no commits. If you talk path A reasons. Viewers love seeing a feature appear on screen. Let's see. If you want path A, need answers or your call. All donation types add up to dollar amounts. Have it next to the total counter. Okay. Reset behavior. Resets every new session. Okay. We're on dashboard, per platform breakdown, UX, drop down, modal, hover, tooltip, drop down. Make the per platform a drop down. Or a hover tooltip is actually better. A hover tooltip. Huh. Cool. Are you winning, son? We're so winning. Alrighty. I wonder if you could try to code a more serious game with this. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Do Rumble first. Let's go with 2. Rumble view counter prompt. Awesome. So he's going to type that up and then we're going to continue. It's cool, dude. Once you get in like a little flow state and you're just watching these changes and going through a giant checklist of shit, it's actually so cool. Honestly. And he just got it updated to 4.7. He seems to be running through all these changes very well. And my usage, I'm on extra high. My usage is, I still have 65. I'm at 65%. So I got a long ways to go still before I max that shit out. Cool. So Rumble's ready to rock. Copy that. First, pre-flight debugging port. If not, should already be running. Okay, let's make sure we're running with the debugging port again. I think we are, but double check here. Where's the terminal? I want a fresh one. All right, fresh restart with the debugging on, and we are good to go. And we'll connect Rumble. Rumble's connected. Hey, hey. And bam, copy. Paste. There. Is that the correct one? Okay, it is. All right. Back to what we were doing. How cool is that?
Of course, I'm not a senior, so I cater to the seniors, but I don't happen to be a senior myself. Thank you very much. Over 51 million seniors now pay 0 federal tax on Social Security income. 51 million. And they never saw that happening. And when I went to him and I said, how much would it cost for about 50 to 60 million seniors not to pay tax? He said, sir, are you kidding? This was Scott. I said, let's do it. Go ahead. And you know what's happened? The economy is doing so well. By the way, we had to do a little journey down to Iran. And I didn't want to do that, but we had to.
Hey. We got a little journey, guys. Just a little journey. Little hop and a skip. Little journey, man.
Because we can't let them have a nuclear weapon. Can't let them have a nuclear weapon. And, we just hit 50,000 on the Dow. I don't know if you people know what that means. 50,000 on the Dow is unthinkable. They said at the end of his fourth year, maybe, but more likely fifth or sixth year. My fifth or sixth year. That sounds good, too. But remember, you know, the hat says 4 more years? It drives the Democrats crazy. It drives them 4 more years, 4 more years. I have to laugh at that one. They go crazy. What a bunch of lunatics they are. You know, we want to get along and we want bipartisan, but after a while you say these people, they're just, you know, they don't want to pay our ICE agents. They don't want to pay our security people. They don't want to take care of our border. They want to have open borders for everybody. They want to have men playing in women's sports. Think of it, men playing in women's sports. It's got to be a 95-5. Maybe it's a 99-1 issue. And they still, I saw a guy today on television, a Democrat that I know. He's trying to justify men playing in women's sports. He's trying to justify open borders. No, we can't let them back in. They'll destroy the country. They'll destroy our country. But millions of retirees like those here in Nevada, and you know, it's a very important word, Nevada. Don't ever say the other way. I'm not going to say it because they'll say it. I won't say it the other way because they'll put it, he said, you lose the whole state. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds pretty good the other way, to be honest with you. Some people, but Nevada is beautiful. And seeing an average deduction over $7,500 this year, which is incredible. The great big beautiful bill is filled with tax cuts Americans are only just beginning to discover. So the tax cuts turned out to be larger than anybody thought, even us. I mean, we didn't think it was going to be as much, but people are getting much more. It's come from that. And the Democrats don't know what to do because they used to ridicule it, you know, the great big beautiful bill. And now they're saying, don't mention the words. Just don't talk about it because it's been great. But we got to keep it. We have to win the midterms. We virtually eliminated the so-called, so many taxes. We have like 19 different taxes in all different forms that we eliminated.
Hey, appreciate it. A bunch of you have gotten the shirts. Check these out. Appreciate you guys that's gotten the shirts, man. They're kind of selling like hot cakes. We're talking about the Uniparty constantly. Got to plug them again. I got my white hat coming in of this design. Where is it? There it is. Hell yeah, I can't wait. My mugs are on the way. And then this is the version 2, Just Vote Harder. Of course, the Uniparty, we already know. Somehow, some way. The debt ceiling keeps rising. Somehow, some way. Our country owes more money. Debt increases. Somehow, some way. We're always in a war. It's a Republican or a Democrat. Somehow, bombs keep on dropping. Doesn't seem to stop, does it? Things keep getting more expensive. Dollar doesn't go as far. Groceries, gas, everything. How is that possible?
We expanded a thing called school choice, which is a big deal. We made homeschool expenditures, the homeschoolers. Do we have any homeschoolers here? Right? Very good. Congratulations. Homeschool expenditures tax deductible. We created the brand new Trump accounts with Michael and Susan Dell. The Dell family. They're great. What a great family. But he put up $6.25 billion. Namely, he did a good job in life. He's putting up more. He came to me with the idea with some of his friends. His wife is fantastic, by the way. And he said, you know, these accounts where children will grow up, and by the time they're 18 or 20 or 21, they could have $100,000. I mean, they may be poor, and they'll have $100,000. What a big difference. So I just want to thank the Dell family. It's great. You know, buy their computer. I said, how did you get so rich by doing computers? He said, well, you know, in college, I was good at computers. I'd just sit on my bed, I'd make computers, and people would buy them, and he never stopped. Sort of an amazing story if you want to know the truth. But we have a $1,000 contribution for every newborn child. Think of that. 5 million have already been opened. It's been incredible. People are going out there doing it. Some are buying it from many other children. Some are taking some richer people are taking lots of people under their wing. We have one man.
Oh, shit. The whole time you guys couldn't see this, man. Jeez Louise.
That took the state of Ohio And he's obviously pretty rich, and he's made the contribution on behalf of so many children. It's really turned out to be amazing, actually. And we made interest on new car loans deductible, which I told you it's a big deal. I think it's really something, but only if it's made here, and that's only if it's made in America. And we're proud to see it being made in America. You know, we used to have, when I was growing up, it would say everything made in America. It meant it was better. And then over the years, it disappeared. We brought it back, and we make great products now. Today, when you see made in America, you know, it's, generally speaking, I think it's a better product. This tax season, over 1 million Americans already deducted their auto loans and their auto interest. Think of that. And they're saving a write-off. They're having a write-off of over $2,000, sometimes much more. And you get a full write-off. It's pretty amazing. Together, these brand new cuts and deductions in the Republican bill have been claimed by nearly half of all tax filers. So in one form or another, more than 50% have taken advantage of the things that we put into the bill. By the way, we have a lot of other things other than that. We have incentives. We have the expensing for businesses, and the expensing is such a big deal. You have a business, you're allowed to deduct it immediately as opposed to over 38 years and other things. And to me, that's one. We had the best economy in the history of our country in my first term, and we're blowing it out now. We're blowing it away now. And despite our little diversion to the lovely country of Iran, lovely place, but we had to do that because otherwise bad things could happen, really bad things. So we've sent out, and I think you're going to see some incredible results, you know, for those people that question it. You're going to see some. The job we've done has been amazing. The ships are out there today, and they're saying, don't come here. Don't even think about it. And you have these massive tankers saying, let's get the hell out of here. It's amazing. It's amazing. But we've sent out $30 billion more in refunds than at the same time last year. And employers who adjust their withholding levels now will see an immediate surge in their take-home pay. For the remainder of 2026, you're going to see a big surge. The numbers are really tremendous, and that's why I'm out here. If they were bad, I wouldn't be here today. I'd be sitting home watching television, I think. We can never forget that every single radical left Democrat in Congress voted to deny the American people these life-saving changes. They voted for tax increases. The numbers, they wanted your taxes to go up. I've never seen it before. You know, all my life, I've been sort of always interested in politics. Never did it before. I decided to do it a little while ago, not too long. But I've never seen it before. It always was, I'd watch politicians for 30 years, 40 years. We will lower your taxes. We will lower your taxes. These are the only people, the Democrats now, the modern-day Democrats. We will raise your taxes. And I just don't think it's winnable. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little old-fashioned, I guess.
You can't listen to them anymore.
But they voted for the largest tax hike in history. The Democrats just voted for the largest tax hike in history. Democrats in Congress caused this, you know, the inflation, the fake news gets on me. You know, I have to be very accurate when I speak because they'll say, he's exaggerated. So the real number is 48 years. That inflation's the highest in 48 years. I don't believe that. I think it's the highest in history. But they say, he said history, and they say, but I'm okay with 48 years. 48 years is long enough. What do you think? But the real number they say is 48 years. I believe it's the highest inflation, and they caused it. And they then wanted to raise your tax. So their tax raise that they wanted was more than $5 trillion, which to each person is probably about $4,000 or $5,000. And they wanted to raise your taxes. The great big beautiful bill also slashed taxes on millions of American small businesses, including restaurants, dry cleaners, corner stores. What is a corner store? I've never heard that term. I know what a corner store is, but I've never heard it described, a corner store. Who the hell wrote that, please?
He doesn't know what a corner store is, dude.
As of today, over 12 million small business flyers have paid nearly $7,000 less in taxes. So on average, your small businesses have paid about $7,000 less. That's a lot for a small business. In large part, thanks to our cuts today, the economy is booming. Our economy is booming. You know, you don't read about it. You don't see it so much because of what's going on in Iran, which is really, you know, it's been 2 months. I mean, 2 months. You've been in other wars for 18 years, 4 years with me. I'm in there for a month. Well, he said he'd get out a month. Did you see where I did a list last week? 17 years in Vietnam and 5 years in Afghanistan and more, much more than that, and all these different places. And I said, we were in there for 2 months. And you know what? We're going to have victory very shortly. This is not... And against a very tough, smart country. These people were
What's
fighters.
a corner store?
And, you know, I don't want to claim it.
He never went to a bodega, huh? He never. He always had his McDonald's from day one ordered straight to him. What the hell?
For the fact, but they
Great.
have no Navy left. 158 ships at the bottom of the sea. 158, think of it. 158. I got angry. I said, why didn't you save them? We could have used them, you know. They would rather shoot them than save them. I said, what the hell? It's only money. But some of them were good. They had one named the Soleimani. You know what the Soleimani? We took him out. He was the worst, one of the worst terrorists in the history of this country, this world. They killed many of our people. Many of our people have been killed. When you see a young soldier mostly going around without legs, without arms, with their faces so badly injured, it was Soleimani that did that. The roadside bombs, they were just terrible. He was the father of the roadside bomb. We killed him. And that had a big impact on Iran. That had a big impact on Iran. Because he was, I think it maybe would be a different story if he were around. I mean, he was a horrible person, a horrible human being. He was a mad genius, but it probably would have been more difficult. We still would have won by fast, but it would have been not probably as fast as it has gone. In the report released last week, core inflation was down to the lowest level in 5 years, and very shortly we're going to be probably 8 or 9 years. Don't forget, we're having some fake inflation because of the fuel, the energy prices, which everybody said was going to $250. We were talking about that, Scott. They said $250, $300. I mean, today, what was it? It finished at $89 or $90, right? And that's in the, you know, we haven't settled yet. Maybe we won't, but I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. But think of that, how well we're doing, and we have this. A lot of people thought that inflation would be through the roof and the stock market would crash. Well, we just hit an all-time new stock market. So it's amazing.
Amazing.
I had people. We have consultants, great guys that we both know. We see they're very talented. Sir, if you do this, fuel is going to go to $300 a barrel, right? One guy in particular who we like a lot. But I said, I don't think so. I think we're going to be good. We always find a way. You know, you got to find a way. But, sir, don't do it, sir. $300 a barrel. It's going to be a wild thing. It's going to be horrible. The depression is going to happen. Well, not going to happen because we just hit a brand new all-time high. Then fuel's at 89. It's actually
What's a corner store?
That, a lot of it.
What's a corner store, dog? He's talking about if you own stocks, you're doing great. Jesus.
But let's not get away from, you know, let's see what happens over the next week or so. You know, I think you're going to be very impressed.
Hey.
And if you are, vote for the Republicans in the midterms, okay? But the king of Saudi Arabia, a very smart guy, invested $2 trillion. We have Qatar, we have UAE, Saudi Arabia.
The one who was kissing your ass?
Invested trillions of dollars in our country. And he said to me a year and a half ago, I was with him, he said, you know, 2 years ago, you were a dead country. Everyone thought America was finished. We were a laughingstock with a president that couldn't walk up a flight of stairs. He was so horrible. I mean, it's not even funny. It's like he was horrible. He allowed 25 million people into the country, totally unvetted and unchecked. And, you know, that's a tough, we're still getting them out. And we had 11,888 murderers, 50% of whom murdered more than one people. Let into our country. They emptied their jails into America. But the king said, you know, 2 years ago, you were a dead country, and now you're the hottest country anywhere in the world. Look at us. We're the hottest country in the world, so pretty good, right? So to talk more about these incredible things that are happening, I'm going to ask really a respected guy, a great guy too. He's difficult. This guy. He's difficult, but he's great. And you know, when he speaks, the whole market gets soothed. When I speak, the market goes a little jittery. And they say, Scott, go out there, clean it up for me, Scott. But no, he's a fantastic guy. And Scott, you're going to say a few words. And then we're going to hear from a few of the people, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Officer, Cruz Littlefield, the co-founder and CEO of a local nonprofit called Power to Parent, Erin Phillips, a bartender and makeup artist, Erica Cassell, and a longtime culinary worker, Nicole Williams. And then we're going to hear from a few others. We're going to go pretty quickly. But, Scott, you want to say a few words, please? Thank you.
Yes, sir, and thank you. And, Mr. President, it's an honor of a lifetime to be part of this administration. And I thought that your supporters here would like a little behind.
Isn't it crazy how, like, a week ago he was talking to that woman, telling her she needs to reframe shit, and that we were going to allow Iran to sell their oil the way they were to take pressure off of our Asian partners and to make sure oil prices stay low, because that allows us to fight this war longer without disrupting the economy. And somehow we're blockading the shit out of absolutely everything and have any shadow fleets being trailed across the entire globe. What the fuck are we doing?
Behind the scene of your incredible first year. This administration has gotten more done in the first year, and let me tell you how that happens. I remember going to see the president February 2024 at Mar-a-Lago, candidate Trump, and he was talking about no tax on tips. He said he'd been out here and he had the idea, no tax on tips. Service workers should keep their tips. Fast forward, July 2025, the working family tax cuts, the one big beautiful bill, gets passed by Congress, and here we are, April 2026, within 24 months, President Trump's idea, it became the law of the land, and we are seeing record tax returns, and the people of Nevada, the people of Clark County, are way higher than the national average because of no tax on tips.
No tax on tips, bro. They have not much to talk about. That's kind of sad. Jesus.
Thank you.
We're in a war, and they keep having to bring up taxes on tips. Fuck, man.
President Trump's policies are reviving the American dream. Yesterday was tax day, and under President Trump, we are celebrating how much more money hardworking Americans will keep, not how much the government will take. Thanks to President Trump and congressional Republicans, the working family tax cuts helps every American chart their own path. Throughout this tax season, I have heard from American workers, families, diner and restaurant owners, bartenders, waiters and waitresses, and communities across the country, and it is clear that workers and families are feeling the benefits. The administration is upholding the foundational principle that hardworking Americans should be rewarded with the fruits of their labor, not punished by tax hikes. And this tax season proves it. In households across America, 53 million filers had taken advantage of at least one of the president's signature tax cuts: no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, enhanced tax relief for our great seniors, and the ability to deduct interest on new car loans if it's an American car. And this is the refunds and the tax cuts have exceeded our expectations. Here in Las Vegas, millions of hardworking Americans have benefited, and I want you all to remember, every single Democrat voted against this program.
It's like we're talking to kids.
So more than 6 million filers have taken the advantage of no tax on tips, 25 million filers, no tax on overtime. And this is what happens when policies are made for workers and not for DC. And also, as the head of the IRS, I want to also tell all of you two things. Go to TrumpAccounts.gov. If you have not registered your children for Trump accounts, it's very easy to remember, TrumpAccounts.gov, and fill out form number 4547.
Glazing next level. This is great. At every stage must be glazed.
Children born during President
This is
Trump's
crazy.
term, Treasury will seed that account with $1,000. For those of you with children under 18, you can add to those accounts. Great philanthropists like Michael, Susan, Dell are adding to that. And the other thing, too, is I want to remind everyone, change your withholding. If you're getting a big tax return, a big tax refund this year, it's because you didn't change your withholding last year. If you change your withholding now, you'll get an automatic raise in your real income. Your weekly, monthly income will go up right here, right now. And I just want to thank President Trump for championing this program, because I can tell you, some of the more traditional Republicans on economics didn't want this to be part of the program. President Trump fought for this the whole way, and this is why we have a new, bigger Republican Party. It's because of policies like this. So thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Scott. Before I introduce, I just want to say two things to me very important. So right now in this country, we have more people working than at any time in the history of our country. Think of that. And also, that's pretty good. And, while in Europe and a lot of other places, they're looking for oil, they're looking for gas, they want gasoline, they're having a hard time. We have a lot. So at this moment, right now, we have more oil production than Russia and Saudi Arabia by far. Russia and Saudi Arabia put together, if you add them up together. And by next year, it will be double that amount. So it's pretty amazing. Those two facts. More people working than ever before. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Officer Cruz Littlefield, please.
Mr. President, thank you so much and welcome to Las Vegas. My name is Cruz Littlefield. I'm a local police officer and a Las Vegas native. I have a deep appreciation for the city and have made it my calling to now protect and serve those who also call it home.
I can't, bro. I can't. The slop, dude, the parading of people, using them as political pawns, and the messaging, the supreme levels of glazing. Like, this is insane. At every corner, there's a little glaze here and there. We have the best country. We're doing the best job. I'm the best president, the best weapons, the glaze. Like, nobody can talk to you like an adult. Everything is a fucking farce. We're just putting up these round tables and discussions, and for what? For who? To just placate to who the fuck is the voter base that's buying this shit? We're not dumb. This country is a shit show. We cannot afford things. It's too fucking expensive. The average house we watched earlier on the first stream is $416,000. If you're in California, it's $1 million. No one gives a fuck about no tax on tips. That's crumbs. You're throwing literal feces, not literal, but metaphorical feces at everybody, telling them, here's a little bit, you get no tax on tips, but we'll rip you for $800 billion in tax cuts that'll go to rich people. This is crazy. Honestly. Like, it's so bad, dude. It makes you want to just turn off. I like covering the geopolitics. I like when things are interesting, but we've hit a weird lull recently where they're constantly lying to one another. Nothing real newsworthy is happening. 15 days of this war could have ended homelessness in the U.S. Yeah. So we're forced to watch absolute slop for boomers that are on the way out, protecting and hoarding their wealth, not giving it to anybody else. And we're supposed to feel good and somehow, like, the country, there's a bright future. The trajectory is amazing. He's talking about kicking out these immigrants and all this shit, right? The mass illegal migrants. And somehow the 20 Republicans and 20 Democrats are doing a bipartisan push for a dignity bill. A dignity bill. We're granting them amnesty. All they have to do, the amnesty's language is Just be here for 5 years. How do we know that? We don't know that because you came here illegally. Okay, so what do? Well, you just lie on a form or you pay your neighbor or somebody to just vouch that they've seen you here for 5 years, and then the process starts and you can just live in the country forever. What? Like that's what makes this shit crazy. Talks out, the mouth and just goes in different directions. It doesn't even last 24 hours. It's like they don't even try anymore. They just literally spew absolute shit. And somehow the news cycle is so rapid that you forget. It's like the TikTok brain rot has overtaken the masses and we remember things in 60-second increments. So one day we're just destroying civilizations and taking them back to the Stone Age. The next day we got a deal and the Iranian people are great and everything's going fine. And what? We got the best military ever. We've completely destroyed them, but we've lost radars. We've lost our THAAD systems. We lost those radar domes are worth billions. We even lost an AWAC. I think we lost an AWAC. I forgot about that one. $500 million plane, lost that shit. We've had to take, a THAAD system from South Korea, I believe it was. Isn't that crazy? We had to beg Poland for interceptors, for Patriot interceptors, and they said no. What the fuck? Yeah. And then I read just recently, too. His business associates called, and he is fast-tracking a visa for temp farm workers. I'm not joking, bro. We have a visa provision that he is pushing through, and he's like, the most accepted applicants ever under Trump is for farm workers because his business associate said, hey, no one's picking the strawberries. And then he goes, no problem, bro, whoever you are, my friend, my business associate, I'm going to approve record amounts of these temp visas for farm workers. Make America great again. What? What, dude? I don't know. Politics, it used to be interesting, right? It made a little sense. Now it just seems like absolute supreme levels of slop. The nation used to matter. Now it just seems like enriching yourself matters more. Pumping out slop, day trading in the fucking market, making hundreds of millions of dollars with insider information on the oil futures and all that shit. Opening up shorts and longs. Regular people over here fucking starving. Dude, I've seen some crazy ass lines at the Costco gas station just because people can't afford to pay normal gas prices. I'm seeing the price of meat and all that other shit go up. I could only imagine. Our economy had net zero job growth. Do you guys understand that? Besides AI, we've not grown at all, economically speaking. What the fuck? We're supposed to believe that this ceasefire will lead to something. Congress just approved the war to go further. Am I not mistaken? That's what we read earlier, right? A Democrat and a bunch of Republicans in Congress have approved a measure to keep the war going for the president. Was that an extension of 30 days? I'm not sure. Or is that indefinite? I don't remember. I know that at the end of April, the 60-day provision in the War Powers Resolution meant that he had to wind down hostilities at the end of April. He had no choice. And I think Congress just voted on and it passed extending the war. Is that 30 days? Or, I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I was watching it live with you guys. Yeah. So I haven't been keeping up in the last couple of days. Really, the last like five or so days, I stopped really looking deep into it until something more meaty starts to develop in terms of the news. And then we'll do another update. Tomorrow, we're going to be streaming, doing the normal stream, no coding, nothing. We're going to have like a full set of commentary and email me some fun stuff if you got some extra stuff, some funny passport bros failing overseas. Those are always good. Or some guys succeeding and doing it well. There's always hope out there, but You know, who knows with the global economy, it's looking rough. And some of these smaller countries, guys overseas, they're hit hard by these energy constraints. That's a weird thing about living overseas too. You see how vulnerable small countries are to shifts in, you know, geopolitics like this and energy security. You know, other countries will need to start doing fuel lockdowns. While over here in America, shit's just gravy for us. We don't really know. Apart from our wallets hurting, it's like the Iran war's not happening for a bunch of people. You know? The rich keep getting richer. And the people just keep grumbling and like, shit is so expensive. Fuck, I'm not happy with Trump, but whatever. Yeah. So, interesting indeed. Did you see the prison slop they're feeding our soldiers? I have no idea what the fuck the soldiers are being fed. Yeah, but we're calling it today, boyos. That's it for today. We are, it's dinner time. We got to get something to eat. It's stuffy in this room. Got to stretch my legs. We've been streaming for a minute here. This 2 hours and 41 minutes here. What the fuck was the other one? I think we've been streaming for at least, what, 5 hours? Something like that. That's it. We demoed out how to do the new Claude coding style. This should help a lot of people. I'll have to chop that up, edit it for the second channel. As usual, thank you so much to everybody that has tuned in. Appreciate everybody that has done the super chatting, buying the shirts, the new merch, the hats, as usual. Appreciate all of you for the support, seriously. You keep everything going. Hope you have a good workout too, brother. It is gym time. It is. The earlier pieces of the stream did show. It did. You missed it because we had to kick it off of YouTube. We went to Kick and I deleted it. So if you haven't seen the previous stream before this one, it's on Kick. So go check that out and then you'll see. We did a normal show there because we couldn't continue that on YouTube. So I have to maybe go back to the old style videos. We can't do some of these. Once we move to Kick exclusive, we'll go over there and do some of the more interesting videos. Because live streaming constraints on YouTube are crazy. Cool. Sent me an email. Yeah, I'll check some of these before we start tomorrow. And yeah, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Take care of yourselves. And we'll catch you Friday. Take care.